Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to install Windows on an external USB drive, and you can use a thumb drive or an external hard drive to do this, and let's get started. So the guide which I'm going to be using for this and be referencing is this guide from How to Geek. This guide shows you how to create a Windows to go USB drive without the enterprise version of Windows, but you should accomplish whatever you want to do in running Windows on external drive. So the first thing you want to do is actually get Windows. So Google this thing called the Media Creation Tool, and this is a tool for you to download the Windows Setup installer. If you already have like a Windows disk or any sort of USB install or the Windows installer disk yourself, you don't need to do this step, you can skip it. But I'll show you how to get it if you don't have it. So just go through the setup here. Now what you want to do is create installation media for another PC and choose the version of Windows you want. If you have a product key for Windows, make sure this corresponds to the correct version of the product key that you have. Next, and what you want is an ISO file, and go ahead and click next. Just save it to your desktop for now and let it download. So over here what I have is a SanDisk USB 3.0 drive. You can see it there. It's a 32GB thumb drive, so it's USB 3, super fast. But what you can use is also a external hard drive or enclosure. Right here I have external hard drive with a Samsung SSD inside. External enclosure, and you can connect using USB 3 and should provide fast data transfer speeds. For today, I'll be using the SanDisk right over here, and now the download's complete and it's now creating the Windows 10 media. Okay, the file has been downloaded and now you have a Windows ISO. So let's go on to the desktop. Let it clean, and on the desktop right here, where is it? Here it is. If you're using Windows 8 and above, you should be able to just right click and open with Windows Explorer. It has a built-in ISO file viewer and you should be able to get this. And what we want here is this file called windows.wim, install.wim. But if you're using the Media Creation Tool, you'll probably get this file called install.esd instead. So what we'll need to do is just copy it first, and we'll need to convert it into the .wim file. If you have a CD installation instead, you may get a .wim install.wim, so you can skip this step. So now that you have your install.esd file, you will need to convert it to a .wim file, and to do that you just need to download the simple tool. Just click here, and you just need to download a simple tool to make sure that the file gets converted. So I'll put this all the links in the description below for you to download the tool, and this is just basically a command line tool to help you convert it to a WIM file. So go ahead and save it and open it. Drag it to your desktop, and right here, go ahead and move it. Oh, wrong one. The install.esd inside here. Run this as administrator, and it should ask you for the file here. So go ahead and just click the address bar on top. You get this here, and just paste it /install the ESD, just like that. Go ahead and hit enter, and it will make sure that it's correct. And once it has successfully scanned the ESD file, it's going to ask you for this. So the version of Windows that you want, you go ahead and enter it. I only want Windows 10 Homes, so I'll export selected single index and which is 3. I just hit the third key, and now it's going to ask you for which one you want to export. So I want Windows 10 Home. I'm going to hit 2 and enter. So now it's going to create the install.wim file here, and it's going to export using the DISM tool, and I'll be back once this is done. Now that the file has been converted successfully, you're going to get this message, and it's gonna do something, maybe some cleaning up. Check, and there we go, done. Press any key to exit, just hit spacebar and you close. So we can proceed to the next step. So the next step is to use this software called GImageX. Go ahead and just use the link in the guide to download it. So go ahead and download the zip version of it, and there we go. Extract it to your desktop, and it's gonna come up here and run it. Run this depending on your system, whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit. Just run one version and run it as administrator. Takes a while. There we go. So now this opens up, and what you want to do is you want to go to the apply tab on the top, and source is going to ask for your install.wim file. So go ahead and direct it to the one that you converted. Mine's on the desktop in this folder here. And your destination, you're gonna pick your thumb drive. So in this case, my thumb drive here is connected as USB drive H, the 32 gig one. So it's H, and it's this one right here, and just click on it and hit OK. You can verify or check after. It's your choice if you want to do that, but the chances for failure is pretty low. So just go ahead and hit apply. Now this will take some time depending on how fast your USB drive is. Mine is USB 3.0, so it should have fairly fast speeds when regarding this. Just a heads up, when applying the WIM file, I actually got an error. So before this, you need to make sure your thumb drive is formatted to NTFS. So go over here, and on your thumb drive, don't do this while it's already applying the image, but do it beforehand. Right click and format it, and it should this should pop up. And if under file system, make sure it's under NTFS. If you don't have it, your thumb drive might be too small, or it just doesn't support it. You have to Google on different ways to make it get formatted to NTFS. So once that's out of the way, continue the application process. Now maybe while this is going on, I should talk about what sizes of thumb drives you should get. 8 gigs is definitely not enough. 16 gigs is definitely cutting it close. If you're going to install some programs, 16 gigs won't get you far. It will probably be enough to install Windows, but you run into problems when updating Windows, like Windows updates and stuff like that, drivers, and yeah. 32 gigs is it's also on the little side, but it should allow you to install certain programs, and it should be functional enough. If you have something like external hard drive or enclosure like what I have 128 gig SSD inside there, and that should be sufficient enough for like files such as Microsoft Word and things like that. Okay, so the application is finally done, and you get this message. It took me 17 minutes on this thumb drive, and go ahead and click close and close. So what you want to do now is to make sure that this partition, as you can see here, as you can see in this thumb drive, there are already Windows files on it, so that's kind of cool. What you want to do is to make the partition active, and in the guide, which I'm referring to, you're supposed to use this management to mark the partition as active. So to do that, just move your mouse to the bottom right, bottom left, right click it, and hit this management. Now it's going to scan all the disk, and what you want to do is find your disk. Mine is H and 32 gigabytes. It's not exactly 32, but yeah, it's around there. So for many people, you can't actually mark this partition as active. It's actually already marked as active, but you're supposed to mark it as active by right clicking and hitting this. But for some reason, if you're running an online version of Windows, which means that you're running Windows on live right now, which is what I'm doing, you can't do this. So you have to use the diskpart tool to do it. So to do that, go ahead and open command prompt, run it as administrator, and then go ahead and open the diskpart tool. Just type diskpart and enter. Now you want to list your disk, and you want to select the disk, the disk that you're using for this install, which is for me is this 4. So select this 4, and now you want to list the partitions, and there's only one partition on this list, so just select partition 1. So now once you have selected a partition, you can just verify it this way. It's selected with this asterisk, and just go ahead and type active. This will make sure that this partition is marked as active, and now you can move on to the next step. Marking the partition as active makes it such that this partition is bootable, and you can run Windows off it. So now you need to create boot entries for this drive. So go ahead and run command prompt again, run it as administrator, and now it's gonna ask you to, you're gonna have to direct the command line to the H directory or whatever letter your computer assign your thumb drive to be. In my case it's H, so just type H and in this way, and you want to direct it to the system32 folder. So just type Windows system32, just like that. And now you're going to use the bcd boot to create the boot files necessary to boot off this thumb drive. So go ahead and type bcd boot.exe. Again, in the guide it shows X, but you want to use whatever Windows assign your thumb drive to be. For me it's H, and again X again here, and just type the command the same, check it and hit enter. So now it's going to make the boot entries on the boot files on your thumb drive, and boot file successfully created. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and access your thumb drive here, and you're going to see this EFI folder here, and it's going to contain the boot files necessary to boot off this thumb drive. Once you're done with that, you're done. You have successfully created a bootable Windows off a thumb drive or hard drive. So now the next step would be to connect it to a computer and boot off it. I'll be right back. So right here I have a laptop which is currently turned off, and here's the thumb drive with Windows installed. Go ahead and plug it in and go ahead and turn it on. So now what you want to do is you want to access the BIOS on this computer so that you can change the boot order in which to boot Windows. So you want to prioritize your thumb drive so that whenever you plug it in, it will boot off the thumb drive. You can also change the boot options. Well, not really change, but select which device you want to boot from. Some computers allow you to do that. On this laptop, you have to spam the delete key in order to access the BIOS. Each computer have different ways to do it, and here it is. Here's the BIOS. Now you want to go to boot, and you're gonna see you want to select the boot option, the first one, to your thumb drive, which is the UEFI SanDisk, and then go ahead and boot the computer. Or you can go to the boot override and select UEFI SanDisk. Now another way, instead of changing your BIOS settings, is you want to go to the boot option when you first launch the computer, when you first boot the computer. So on this computer, the key is F12 as shown on the top left. I'm going to be spamming the F12 key. There you go, as you can see, for boot menu, sorry, not boot option. And now you're going to select the UEFI SanDisk and go ahead and boot from here. Now there are different ways to boot into the thumb drive, and your computer might vary. So the best way is to Google your computer. Let's say you have some random computers. So the best way is to Google and to how to access your BIOS. And from here, you should be booting off this thumb drive. As you can see, it's loading, and it's gonna go through the standard Windows setup as how you would normally start Windows for the first time. And there we go, there it is. Oh yeah, you have to install drivers for this. Like go to your computer's manufacturer page, download drivers, install it so that your computer actually works with Windows. I guess it's going to take a while until it loads, kind of taking forever to load. So hope this helps, and thanks for watching.